Semiotic analysis of the Starbucks logo. In this video analysis, I will critically examine the Starbucks logo using concepts from communication theory. The logo is not just a visual symbol of a coffee company, but a cultural artifact rich in meaning, identity, and influence. Using key concepts such as semiotics, branding, hegemony, and myth, I will demonstrate how Starbucks has created a powerful visual narrative that shapes consumer perception and behavior. This analysis draws on definitions and frameworks from the textbook Media and Culture, Mass Communication in a Digital Age by Richard Campbell, Christopher R. Martin, and Bettina Fabos, 12th edition, Bedford/St. Martin's. Semiotics and communication. Semiotics is the study of signs and how meaning is constructed and understood. In media studies, semiotics allows us to interpret how symbols operate in culture. According to Campbell et al., semiotics involves the interaction between the signifier, form, and the signified concept. The Starbucks logo serves as a rich example of this interaction. Campbell et al., page 137. The logo's siren is the signifier, while the feelings of warmth, comfort, exclusivity, and luxury are the signified. Consumers are not just seeing an image, they are interpreting an entire narrative embedded in a brand identity. Signifier, signified, and Starbucks. The Starbucks logo contains multiple symbolic layers. The siren, a two-tailed mermaid, is rooted in ancient mythology. She represents allure and seduction qualities that Starbucks uses to make its brand irresistible. The logo's green color is associated with harmony, calm, and trust, encouraging consumers to connect emotionally with the brand. In this context, signifier, the logo, siren, crown, green circle. Signified, ideas of luxury, mystique, sustainability, and community. Through repetition and visibility, this sign system becomes internalized and taken as natural. Branding as a communication system. Campbell et al. Describe branding as a communication system that conveys values and identity, page 214. Starbucks branding is carefully constructed to suggest more than coffee. It suggests belonging, lifestyle, and even ethical consciousness. By communicating these values visually, Starbucks builds a lasting emotional relationship with its audience. Every time someone sees the logo, they are reminded not just of coffee, but of an experience. This is strategic symbolic communication. Hegemony and cultural normalization. Hegemony is the process by which dominant ideas become accepted as common sense or natural. According to Campbell et al., media can reproduce dominant ideologies subtly, making them seem universal. Starbucks contributes to this by reshaping public spaces, making its cafes the standard for community gathering, relaxation, and work culture. By normalizing premium coffee consumption and curated spaces, Starbucks exerts cultural influence. The logo is a symbol of that dominance. Myth and ideology in media. Drawing from Roland Barthes' idea of myth, the Starbucks logo goes beyond literal meaning to suggest cultural ideals. It mythologizes coffee as an elite, artistic, and even spiritual product. As Barthes explains, myths operate to reinforce dominant ideologies. In the Starbucks case, the myth is that purchasing a cup of coffee is part of a global, refined identity. This ideology is quietly encoded in the logo's aesthetics and widely accepted without question. broader implications of analysis. This analysis matters because logos like Starbucks influence how people see themselves and others. Through semiotics, hegemony, branding, and myth, media artifacts can shape culture and identity subtly but powerfully. Understanding these underlying messages empowers us to become more critical media consumers. Instead of simply accepting visual symbols at face value, we can ask, what values are being sold here, and to whose benefit? Conclusion. The Starbucks logo is not just a brand mark, it is a complex symbol embedded with cultural, emotional, and ideological meanings. By applying communication theory to this familiar image, we see how media symbols guide behavior, construct identity, and normalize particular worldviews. Using concepts from the textbook Media and Culture, Mass Communication in a Digital Age, this analysis shows how powerful and persuasive visual communication can be in everyday life. References: Campbell R., Martin C., R., and Fabos B., 2021. Media and Culture, Mass Communication in a Digital Age, 12th edition. Bedford/St. Martins. Barth, R., 1972. Mythologies. Hill and Wang. Starbucks Corporation. ND. Company and branding information retrieved from starbucks.com.